that you see, we are getting to a discussion where we are not able to quantify. When people say that this is, one of the best presidents we always have concerning an issue, I think it stands a test of time. We just less than 2 years, into power, so we are not able to determine after. Then we are able to do that when your legacy is actually farmed, and we're able to confirm that you stood out as one who stood out for the rule of law, for the matters of fairness. The question that is brought on table, and you are asking so firmly, is that is there a problem in the judiciary? There is a problem in the judiciary. One, Honorable Sosion has confirmed in the Senate that he's been a victim of some of the rulings that probably, if you see, really defy the procedures that are outlined on the processes of probably getting a ruling or getting an order. And in that extent, he has urged, though I agree that, as I said, instead of us defying, but then we would just ignore. I think that step down is quite important for him to the show today. The question that we are asking here is that even as, and yes, we had said that it's important to have a national conversation, a dialogue between the head of executive and the head of judiciary. There has been a number of dialogues that have been here to resolve a stalemate that threatens probably the core of the national unity, probably threatens the functioning of a statehood. There have been a lot, including the one that is, whether we don't know whether it's proceeding, the National Dialogue Committee, on matters that are thorny like this. And I was on a different platform. I said this, that if we are finding it now that there seems to be a corruption within the judiciary, the judicial officers had the opportunity probably to present their view through the NADCO on the proposals. That could have been, could have been one of them, one of the issues that could have been brought to be discussed on the national level. But right now, that is a thorny issue. The issue is that we have JSC that really is in charge of, as a body that really vets, but equally look into the functioning on what the welfare of the judges concerning any other matter. But however, the head of state being the national, the symbol of a national unity, he has his own right, to steer the process. He has his own right to sit at the conversation, to resolve, because it's a matter of a national concern. Now, my worry is that there seems to be different people reading from a different script.
Yes.
While I was watching the script here, in the background, I am seeing the deputy president, who has mentioned that is leading a delegation to JSC in order to file a petition on one particular judge who is handling this issue. So here is a president who is willing to have a national conversation on the state of, of the state of a nation that is quite thorny. But on the other hand, we are having a deputy president that is leading towards a different direction. I think we need to get that resolved. That matter probably could be his own, or could be a matter that is affecting the nation. May I also warn, may I also advise, because we are reading comparatively with what is going on in different jurisdictions, in different democracies. On a time, we had one Attorney General of the United States called Jeff Sessions. And Jeff Sessions was the advisor to Donald Trump by that time. So there were issues that were surrounding the president, including a matter that was so core that there seems to be that the Russians had might have meddled in the elections of that country. But I think President Trump, being President Trump, was not heeding to the advice of Jeff Sessions. And when he was summoned, to speak on matters that the court was actually summoning, and he was sending lawyers who were advising him wrongly and telling him, you don't need anything to do with the U.S. Supreme Court and federal, judges and judiciary. As we speak, we all know that President Trump, as late as yesterday, he's been summoned to court. He's a former president, but summoned to court. He's campaigning, but answering to legal challenges. So I am not saying this is the fate of our current regime. What I am saying is that probably the president, being strategic and being a leader, as the senator is mentioning, could have realized that actually it is shooting yourself in the foot by always vilifying the judiciary at the national platform by riding on a populism issue. So I think this is the most important thing. But I agree that there is corruption in the judiciary, just like it is on the other arms of government. So when we are tackling it, we should give it to Judicial Service Commission. Matters that if there is a corruption in judiciary, the head of state, being the head of the executive, could crack whip on matters that are affecting corruption within the executive.
All right.